Hopefully that's
Oh, right.
there we
Genuinely
go.
6+ weeks off again then. Hey? Okay, I've got a beer. Take.
Nah, you beastly cunt.
I think that's us live, I think.
Oh.
It's alive!
We're alive.
Greetings, boys and gits, to another ad hoc mental gathering of whatever we could scramble together. Who's here today?
It's a catchy title.
Yeah, who's here today? We have got none other than a drunken orc. We've got
Alright.
Essex boys.
Hey.
We've got myself, Dread,
Before
and
you get
we have
carried
got
away, Dread, let's make
Dim.
sure it's running.
It is.
Even though I've updated the thumbnail, apparently it's apparently it's not. So.
Oh,
No, you dirty.
I want to get on and do some painting.
Wonderful.
Yes. Add your noise, bunny lad.
Right, well, not
Yeah,
liking the
we're
way
gone.
this is.
And Dim.
And Dim. So, I am painting. I don't know about the rest of you guys. What are you guys doing? Building, painting?
Building.
Jealous already.
That's the plan. Not to make you jealous, but to build. And to make you jealous. Look at that. I never thought I'd use a drill bit like that on a model.
What are you putting hole in?
That was a stomp, to be fair, so that's fair enough. I had to feed some 40 mil pipe through it, so it's not good. It's not good. It's sort of like it starts off all right with the little auger bit, but when the blades hit it, it just kind of bursts through with an explosion. You think, oh, fucking hell, what's happened? But luckily the holes were getting covered up, so they weren't perfectly round, put it that way. But it worked. It looks stupid, but it works. It isn't stupid.
Maybe would have gone for something hot to poke through it, but then that could equally be very messy and dangerous.
Very true. Very true. I'm just trying to get clear a bit of space up, having a bit of a tidy up.
I'm trying to get a painting mojo going back. Yeah, coming back because I haven't had it for a little while.
No, I know what you mean.
I've got stuff that needs doing that's needed doing for a long while, and I just want to get it out of the way so I can move on to new projects. So,
yes, indeed.
Yeah, I need to do that after this. I need to stop building stuff. In fact, I'm not even going to finish this. I'm just going to get it roughly where I want. I might stick some armor plates on, and then just stop, and then build up on the top afterwards. Stop and paint. I've got a few things here which need finishing. 6 tanks, a buggy, and a flyer. Which all need quite a bit of paint. The flyer, especially, is annoyingly detailed. Well, I've only really got myself to blame for that.
I think as I sort of sit there in an evening on my own, sort of I can sort of glance over at the few miniatures and go, yeah, that needs this or that needs that. But actually, when it comes to sitting down and actually picking any one thing to do, I'm like, oh well, I want to get straight on metallics because that's going to make the water all metallic-y. So I start off with something that is metallic. So what needed doing again? Oh, then you get everything out. And I just don't. This is, I don't know. The mojo's not there. Sometimes it just is. Sometimes it just isn't.
I know what you mean. I've felt a little bit sort of, I can't be bothered to paint. And that's why I've just, every time I finish building something, I was forcing myself to prime it, which is sort of like drawn the line under it with regards to any further building. And then what I normally do is put the metallics on because I just can't hold an airbrush and hit it up with some dry brushing and stuff.
Mhm.
And then I was going, I don't want to do any more. Like, I think it's getting the paints out. I need to get a new sort of desk set up. I'm working
Yes.
from home a lot less now, and I've got a laptop for when I do, so I don't need. I've got a whole setup behind us for work. I can get rid of that, and that could become like just painting.
Yeah, I really do miss having a proper dedicated hobby space as well. That's one of the major things. Very uninspiring keeping it out on a little table all the time and having to put it away.
I did get a little table. It's one of them tattooist tables.
Oh,
It's like a little table. It's got a tilty bit, which is no use for me because I just turn it 45 degrees and everything falls on the floor. But I think that would be quite handy just to sort of like set up downstairs. Watching the telly with all us, just that'll get some done. That's the idea anyway. Social hobby. It's someone who couldn't care less. Big pain with him.
If I'm painting, it's not a fun experience.
Well, I don't want that. I don't want that.
You get
I
passive
normally
stress.
enjoy it. I don't
enjoy it.
I mean, it's not a fun experience for anybody else.
No, it's not a fun experience for me, and it's certainly not for anyone else nearby.
And if you're not having fun, bollocks to the rest of us. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Ask Scar what it's like. He'll tell you.
I'll put that bit.
And there's a chance he might chip in because he has mentioned in the chat. Oh, not this fucking shit again.
Well, if he said that, he's probably not really in the fettle for it.
I mean, the microphone's right next to my fucking face. If you can't hear us, like...
Yeah.
No, they're on about the chat. The chat.
Oh, you haven't got the chat up yet? Hello, chat. Hello.
Hello.
It's normally
Sci-fi
Scar,
there,
the
Jim
quiet
Bug.
one. Quiet Scar, they call him.
Not that I'm planning to do much talking today, so... Yeah, it's all good.
Are you in another singing competition tomorrow?
No,
Next match.
I'm not allowed.
Oh, speaking of singing competitions, yeah, I probably don't mention them.
Oh yeah, that was yesterday, wasn't it?
It was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
what was it?
Ben,
How
it
was it?
totally wasn't a shit show. And normally I would watch it. It's normally a family ritual, but
Yeah.
I was ill, so I didn't go to my parents to watch it. So I have not watched it as a consequence.
Well, I watched it with the Ben because the missus is away, so normally she would watch it and he would end up sort of like a keen interest in the points section.
The no points.
UK got some points. They're on the left-hand side, I think, of the board at the start, but then the public vote, where, you get like an extra 250 odd points or 312, or even just 37, and the UK got 0. The entirety of Europe, public, not judgment panels, voted 0. So, all right. Fair play to yous. It wasn't my favourite thing, but I thought it deserved more than 0.
Not a single point.
Not a single.
I do have a piece of a public information broadcast for the benefit of the people at home. For those of you who say that Eurovision should stop because it's all political votes, I should point out to you that that is a political opinion. Chin chin. Anyway, resume.
The only reason Eurovision should stop is because it's shit.
It's all right.
I never understood it. I never understood, like, well, What does it do?
Some of them are in English, new Dread.
All right.
You see what I did?
You know, like that was part of what I was going to say. It's like, you know, I watched it once or twice maybe, and
it doesn't have to fulfill
two or three songs you understand. The rest of it's all jibbity jabbing, and you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, you know, I just watch MTV. I can get a whole bunch of music that I actually enjoy and I can understand. It's brilliant. Don't need this. And who are these people? And what do they go on to become? Nobody. Anyway. Except for ABBA. ABBA did something, didn't they? And then River Dancers. See what's happened to Ireland? They had them River Dancers before.
River Dance wasn't on Eurovision, you plum.
Wasn't it?
They don't fucking sing. The clue's in the fucking name. They dance. They were probably on it. No, they didn't.
Won it.
They didn't fucking win it.
Jesus Christ!
That's what I did.
I mean, we've won it like a couple of times actually.
With what?
They don't fucking.
Katrina and the Waves, Sunshine of Light. It was terrible, but we won. Should have won with Sam Smith, but it was not Sam Smith.
The big
Ryder,
Smiley Lion.
Yeah, that guy. He did actually quite a good song, and it was catchy.
It was mint.
People liked it. But unfortunately, a certain large country invaded a very small European country, and that affected the votes. You know, which I think was entirely the plan. It was just to sabotage Eurovision. That was all it was for.
Who did I won this year? Was it someone we should know?
Switzerland won it. Spoilers, by the way, if you're planning on watching it later.
No, I mean, who sang our song? I mean, was it one of our...
it? Some kid called Ollie.
Ah, see, there's the thing. We've got all this talent, and it's always someone you never heard of.
With a few years ago, didn't Blue represent the UK? They got looking nil point and all.
Like 4 years ago or something, we had Engelbert Humperdinck, right? We've tried getting names, and we particularly like to pick names that the Germans really like for some weird reason.
Best to keep them on side.
You know, and just sort of throw them up. It's not that's not the point of it. It's not a point of like getting someone that you've necessarily heard.
Did Humperdinck win, or did he not do well, or what?
He did fucking dreadful, man.
Yeah, he did.
We usually do terrible because what we do is we put in a shit song. I suspect that we try to not win most of the time because we're paying for it, so we don't want to pay for it and host it because that's twice the money.
Yeah, that's the old Father Ted theory, though, isn't it? When Ireland sort of won it 2 or 3 times off the belt and then put in My Lovely Horse in Father Ted.
Lovely horse.
Riding through the field with your fetlocks blow. Like a train in the night. Like a train in a sax solo. I mean, that was... It's a theory, but there's the big 4, isn't it? Fucking hell, man, we're talking about the Eurovision Song Contest.
Here we are.
Sorry.
More interesting than talk about that Big Mac model. So,
the Eurovision England's entry in the Eurovision Songs of Warhammer.
That's weird. I don't see anything about that, other than that there was some crazy girl representing Ireland. It's about all of
what's she called? Zombie Bambi or something? No, Bambi Thug.
Non-binary, cool. I should say. Non-binary.
Good name. Sai saying Britain should send Iron Maiden.
That'd be so cool.
No, because that will give Bruce Dickinson an opportunity to talk, and that should never be given. Let him. He's busy doing things. Let him do things, and then he doesn't moan endlessly about shit that has nothing to do with him. He's probably still going on about the fact that people watch the Osbournes. That was the last thing I heard him ranting about.
No, I think he was still moaning about that Big Mac model.
Yeah, probably. I would have supported him if that had been the case. Let's see more of him.
What do you think of this? This is something which I was mentioning I'd finished building and I primed. So I've done the flyer, the Waz bomb. This is when my reverse camera starts pricking about. And there's the dirigible, right? Now the flying stand it comes on is about that long.
Yeah.
So the base is it's less than a centimetre off the base. Well, that wasn't going to do it for me, you see. So, and for transport.
Oh, yeah.
Nice big flying stand.
Yeah.
With magnets. Magnets.
They're not bad.
It's tall. But, yeah. If I tip it to the side, well, first of all, that falls off because it's not glued on yet. And then the magnet pulls off. But without that on, he says, putting it down to get a spare hand for catching, it does tilt.
My hands going. Do you know when you do that, Sid? It's just like when I watch them fucking videos about people like doing jumping across the tops of high buildings and stuff. My hands start getting sweaty.
Yeah.
Making my hands sweat. Dawdle down. Stop being dangerous with it.
I did knock it off last night, and it landed on a big shooter. Now they're pinned, and it's still snapped off. I bent the fucking pin.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I know. But it was an easy fix.
You should do a smokestack to cover up the flying stand, so like a massive smokestack.
Do you know what? Because I've rather cleverly stuck this extra pipe on the bottom, which to be fair is black rubber. I need to prime it and everything. That's like attached to there. So I was thinking I might attach other stuff to that. Try and hide, this big knacker thing.
I'm in the coat hanger gang. Just use a bit of metal coat hanger. That's me. You don't barely notice it, so
a load of grots on the bottom, holding it down with ropes. Holding.
Oh, I've got enough. This is the. I think it's really going to come to life when I add the crew.
Yeah.
There's quite a few crew members in odds and sods and what have you. So when I put all those on, that's when I think it's going to, start to pop.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
Poppity pop, pop, pop.
Rock Lobster's saying, don't know why Australia is involved in Eurovision. Because
money.
Because they were very popular. Everybody liked them. They were invited once as a weird bullshit one-off. And they were entertaining. Everybody liked them. And nobody told them to F off. But I don't know if they were there this year. Because, I think they're still in the contest, but you still got to qualify. And the only people who get an automatic through are the ones who pay for it.
Yeah. Is it the big 4?
Or the big 6, I think. I think it's 6.
6?
Yeah. But they always get an entry in. And then everybody else has to qualify. But yeah. But I mean, dangerous to say at the moment, but Israel's also in the Eurovision, has been for a long time. They're not in Europe either. Yeah. So it's like, if Israel can be, then, a country that respects human rights can be in it.
Let's not get political.
No.
I think our political limit should be Eurovision. So, not one to change the subject or anything. Not one to change the subject, like with a handbrake turn. Yeah. But I'll also show you what I've been building since I primed me flyer, which I was just showing the lads beforehand. It's me Stomper. Look at these big legs. David just got over ground clearance.
I mean,
you can actually walk over stuff.
That is. I'm hoping you're doing something with the top, because at the moment it might just be Demis Roussos walking across the floor fan. But
Yeah, he's gonna have a head in here,
Yeah.
and then there it is, and then this bit, which goes obviously in there,
Please tell me you're putting like a fortress or something on the top.
will have like a fortress on top,
Yeah.
including such things as all the guns. You know, the big
Fuck
def,
yeah.
like all that'll be in there. The actual gatler might end up being a cock weapon,
Yeah.
but the
It's
big
totally not compensating if you don't need one.
No, so the big def gun will be on top. The Gatler thing might be there, but it might be up there. Super rockets scattered about. I'm going to have a little helipad with a def copter on it, and it's lots of orc. Obviously, I need to build up these walls a bit more, so it's they can hide behind. Because at the minute they're only about 9mm tall in places, and less in others. So I need to build them up. So I have some orcs around with shooters and what have you. And I've thought about maybe putting a really massive, daft sort of brick weird boy tower on.
Oh yeah.
Something built out
nice.
of like that's
do
not
like-
the right material.
I do
it
like
makes-
I do like BC's suggestion, or BC saying you could put snacks in it for the table.
I've also actually I did think my mate was saying, "What's that for? Like a big egg cup?" And I was like, "Yes, ostrich egg cup," because that's not going to be glued on. That'll just be held on with a gravity joint, and then I'll
you
be
know
able to
how-
lift it off. And then inside, those little cocktail sticks are just to hold the arms in place. I was showing them before, so I can pull those out and then detach the arms for transport. And currently, you can sit down as well. Whoop.
Well, you know how
These legs are on the swing.
well, you
I've
know
got
how
a feeling that'll get looser, and eventually you'll just tip forward and.
Yeah.
I might just glue him.
well you know how the discerning
Before you glue him, a good few photographs of him posing, like sitting on a bench, reading a book, stuff like that.
Yeah.
well you know how the discerning lady likes a car with a cup holder, right? Well, Stomper with a beer holder.
I don't know if I need to give him any sort of base though, because at the minute he's quite sturdy, steady, stable. What's the word?
Strong and stable, you could say.
It's hard to sort of like prove that, but there he is. Look, and I push him, he doesn't move. I know you can't see him, but you can tell by my face he hasn't fallen over onto the floor. And that way I could put him down like with the footprints not too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go. Rhino. Maybe he's a Land Raider would fit comfortably between his.
They're half decent feet now, you can see them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the feet are, they're lovely.
Hmm.
But I'm going to put some armor plates on his legs as well. Because they're just the Imperial pipe set. I sort of just chopped them up best I could to sort of like.
Oh, yeah.
And put a few extra sort of like just pistons and whatever. But foam to make armor plates. I don't want to cover up the legs too much though, because I like them.
Oh,
But
that was the problem I had
out
with
in the
the Iron Squig off. Particularly, that's kind of the problem when you do kit bash.
Mhm.
If you do scratch build, you like, if you know you're going to scratch build the whole thing, you'll think, right, well, this is going to be armor, so I'll do terrible interior and hide it. But when you do kit bash, it's just like, well, I want to show where I got my bits.
Yeah.
Like, I got a few people who said that the legs were too spindly on the Iron Squig off, but I was like, yeah, but the point of the kit was to show you could take all the kits that we mentioned and make something really nice from it. And if I hide the obvious source of hide that it's really fucking cool and very easy to add like multiple Def Dread and Killa Can arms together to make longer arms and thus to make tall legs, you won't see that. So what's the point? And considering we never get good fucking toughnesses and armor saves anyway, generally speaking, I have to say until this codex, I was fucking surprised by some of the fucking rules we've got at the moment.
I was going to say, yeah, I think the Stomper's got pretty good toughness.
I mean, it probably still won't be point effective, I assume, but
I think you'd have to go a long way for it to be worth 800 points, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But working with an hard case is toughness 12, is it?
Yeah, Stomper's 14.
Yeah. And
it's one of those things that I've played against in 9th. Was it 9th? Oh, no,
Yeah.
sorry. 10th just come out when Pale done his Pale Con at Element Games. 10th might have just come out actually because we had the data cards, and one of the lads brought a Stomper, and against Orcs, it was you just
Brutal.
because all your sort of like your custom mega cannons, your rockets, your KMBs, all that sort of stuff was strength 9 and 12 and stuff. Still wounded on 5s. So
and hitting on 5s as well, yeah.
And mostly hitting on 5s, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just so hard to wound. I think by the end of the game I had against them, I'd done about 7 wounds on it. I think Pale done the most with Mozrog. Mozrog Scragbar, he managed to get into combat with it and took it down by about 12 wounds or something. Or maybe it was more, but he didn't get it under 10. And then it ripped him apart. So it's doing like fucking 10 damage with a hit.
Jesus.
Bloody hell.
And he had a little mech. He had a little mech running around behind it, making it better and fixing it, patching it up again.
Sake, what a fucking cunt.
So it was like, I will now delete that unit. I will now delete that unit. I will now delete that unit. Fuck ass. What should I check? He's got one of those dwarven flying boats. He's using some bits you think they're using the hull as a submarine. A submarine would be a good idea. I like the idea of like Orc ships and subs, but they've got no use in the game, really.
Yeah.
Let's just stick tracks on it and Carl Grot.
I mean, one of the coolest Orc armies I ever saw was a desert aquatic theme Orc army. So everything was water themed. So like Storm Boys were like surfing orcs.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
I've definitely linked it to Warbosses and people on the
stuff like
Discord.
That.
And he had his gargantuan squigoffs were like big sea creatures. And one of them was he made a great pink sea snail, which is a nod to the Rex Harrison Doctor Dolittle film. Slightly niche.
With transport capacity.
Oh.
That would be quite cool. I think I have seen that. I'd like to look at it again though.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still up on a blog, and if I can relocate the blog, not only will I chuck a link to my fellow bosses, but I will I'll hike a link in the description of the video. So if you check back in a few days, there might be a link to the one. You can go have a look for yourselves.
Sid nicked this idea from the Mech Bear on Discord. Sci-fi. I'll have you know I nicked that idea off somebody a long time ago. I'm sure it's been done before, building the Stomper upside down. Christ. I know I've seen it done before. It didn't have quite as long legs as mine, like, but
He means his cock.
Yeah, no, when that kit came out, there was a scramble for people to go, well, yes, I mean, maybe it's not the best kit ever, but you can do stuff with it. Here, I'll prove it. So there was a few that were sort of tried it upside down or tried it, this way.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd turn mine into a bloody tower, into a terrain piece.
It's just because I've got a Stomper there.
Yeah.
The lights are on, so you can hardly see it. But it's just, if I built another one, it would just look the same.
Can't children. Never been a fan of it. It was all right for some bits, but
Keith's saying that he wouldn't play the submodel. He would just do it to do it. Really, it would be done just to be done, because it would be cool, and it would be. To be fair, like I say, it do look awesome. I do like to try and build everything that can be used. But you're quite right. It would be. I like the idea of a ship. That's why the flying ship's meant, because you can have all the sort of like, you think of like an old-fashioned sort of galleon or something. I say old-fashioned, piratey sort of galleon with just the crew like in the rigging and sort of climbing up the high and all the shenanigans going on deck, plank suit and all that sort of stuff. I think that's really cool. So It's nice to be able to put into something. And run it as a WAS bomb, which is all shite. But really, you can't play them either. I mean, you can, but they're rubbish. But I can as a jot. What's that you're working on, Clint?
I'm just basing my Painboy on bike. I never quite got the base finished, so I'm just sorting out the base. So, yeah, just getting the trailer fixed in and just doing a few little last touches I didn't get done before the meet-up.
Yeah, that's what I'm basically doing the same sort of thing.
Yeah, so I seen there was a submersible in one of the Apocalypse books. It was the in that one, yeah. The Hell's Reach.
It'd be quite cool to do like a driller thing, wouldn't it? Like the AdMech thing, the drill.
Yeah.
That'd be quite cool.
Dim, were you thinking of Dr. Simon Clarke's Beach Boys Army?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they were called the Killa Konviktz, I think. What's the name of
Is that the one where Laughing Med surfboards and they're all based on like the beach?
Yeah, they all had have like Hawaiian shorts on and stuff, like all the yeah.
That was very cool.
I think that was very cool. I mean, yeah, the big pink snail, really.
And had like mega knobs that were like diving rig stuff, so kind of like
the
the
big bell helmet sort of thing, like
bouncer things from BioShock and stuff.
BioShock,
like that.
yeah.
It was all sorts of cool things, and then like all of the vehicles. It was an entirely unique army, but you had like submarines and all sorts of stuff, and everything was themed around there. It was a very, 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 very flavorful army. General Malaise, or Malaise, General Malaise. That was the name of the account when he was on on the war. He might still have an account on Dakar, and Dakar's still up. So if you search on the Dakar forum, you might find an army blog on there, and there might still be pictures. That might be an option. I'm sure I found a blog though where he had his whole army on it, so I'll have to look and see if I've got that bookmarked later on. And because I do like to find the old war forum stuff still up and about on the war, and so some on the internet, because the forum's long gone, and occasionally some of this stuff crops up again, like Skarpia, who was quite prolific on the war, and he made a lot of really sort of cool stuff, and he had a lot of some of Cruiser's nice stuff, and he was big for a while, but he hated 4th edition about as much as I. Well, probably more, actually, but about as much as I hated the last few editions of 40k, to be honest. And he mega quit and just forswore it, and he's moved on to other hobbies. But he came up with some quite iconic ideas. But then he just got sick of it all, so he left ages ago. Spared himself a lot of bullshit, I can tell you. But the Pansy Lover that I made, which is over here somewhere. That one was inspired by his stuff. Because he made two. He made one from a raider, and then he got himself a Falcon grav tank. And he made two.
He was the Deffskullz player, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was Deffskullz. Yeah. So he looted loads of shit. So, and he made it. He made his own custom ride for his big mech Goober, which he called the Wrecker, which was like using a quite sizable model kit Humvee, and then he made a Ork wrecker truck from it, and it was fucking nice. Like, and it was one of the few things he didn't sell. He kept a hold of it, and I hope he still has it. It was a beautiful thing. And he was always a prolific Deffskullz player. I think the fact that the looted wagon just became such a piece of shit, and it has not been a remotely interesting or rewarding thing for the Ork player since, I think is probably was a big part of his dislike of 40k, and I think it was also part and parcel with a massive decline in the amount of like Deffskullz players we've got, really, because the looters are an uninspiring kit, and the looted wagon as a concept would be great if Ork players were trusted in the way that Genestealer Cult have been trusted since they came out, where they've just been able to take any Leman Russ they like. They haven't just been allowed to take the ones that were allowed a special kit. They were literally allowed to take any Imperial Guard kit, and as far as I'm aware, they still can. Whereas Ork players can't loot vehicles with impunity and use their profile, which, you know, why the fuck not? Just make it a one per army thing. Like, I don't know many Ork players that would want more than one. And you've already got the balancing factor, because you just go, right, see that great ballistic skill that's on that vehicle? Well, it's about to drop because it's piloted by Orks. It's got a stupid rule attached to it, which means it will move forward and do fuck all for a turn if you roll one side of a 6-sided object. And for some reason, they're still like, yeah, well, it would be too overpowered if it wasn't just basically a rhino with a terrible gun. And that's what it's been for the editions that it was allowed to exist. So it's a shame, really. Because, I mean, we're now living close to, I would say, the age where the looted wagon really would make sense.
That'd be great to have that. So much. I've got loads of them sat there ready to go as well, where I've got lots of Imperial tanks from, you know, admittedly they're years old now, but they're sitting in a half-looted state where I'm like, there's nothing for me to use them as at the moment. So there's no inspiration to really finish them particularly, other than just go, look at this cool Ork thing I built, and everyone go, oh yeah, nice, shame you can't use it. So
I do that and I use them.
I think we could probably knock something up for that. I've been thinking about it anyway, because I'm still. I mean, I haven't done huge amounts, but I have been low key thinking about like doing like I don't want to call it a codex, because I keep saying the codex format is dead, and it seems hypocritical to go, I'm writing a codex of my own, but I'm writing a list of data sheets which also has army rules if you take it as an army, of basically freebooter stuff, and it's mostly mercenary units that, you know, we've not had in a long time and unlikely to get kits of. But I was also thinking it's just a great excuse to sort of have a look at what is missing from all the various editions and go, right, we could probably add this in. And considering that basically half of my Rebel Grot collection now is a legend unit of some description, including like the expensive Forge World kits that I've bought, with one exception, which is soon eventually going to join the legends when GW finally grabs the balls to realise that they can't be bothered to do any work whatsoever on any of the Forge World things, and we'll just get rid of that as well. And the narrative online has been, understandably, but I would say also tragically, these aren't usable anymore. That's not true. It is usable. Well, if you were part of any ecosystem, and this includes tournaments as well, tournament people sitting at the back, listen up for a second. You might learn something. Any ecosystem that embraces the idea that you can't have it, you have just removed options for yourself. That doesn't benefit you in any shape or form. And if you think it does, you're believing Games Workshop's bullshit uncritically, which, let's face it, for the vast majority of GW's fan base is not a surprise. But but it's affecting you negatively. The fact of the matter is that most of you are not right now playing a tournament. Most 40k games are not at tournaments. They are not at tournaments. You are not at a fucking tournament right now.
But the positive thing,
a handful of you are.
Right, you're writing an Ork data sheet book. Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's good.
So just embrace house rules and fan rules and stuff again. Just do it, because what's the fucking point? GW aren't going to give you this. Hang on a second, Red. GW aren't going to give you this fucking balance anyway, right? It's not coming. Stop fucking believing this whole shit that it's going to come, right? They've had 3 goes at this now and they're still fucking it up. It's not happening. So just use some Legends units because they're fun. They're actually quite well written at the moment.
Oh, definitely,
for the most part. They've got some quite moderately entertaining rules. I mean, it's a low bar because 10th is very stripped down. So any rule that's just a little bit different is immediately oh my god, it's so amazing.
I would encourage people, anyone out there that's building Ork stuff, just to build what you want to build, because I think even if at the moment there isn't rules for it, there will be very soon, because there's going to be a lot of fan games coming about, because they're screwing people up so much that people are just going, do you know what, I've had enough of this. I actually sat down myself thinking in this very same way about writing my own rules or writing my own things. I started making notes. I've got that notes function on my Samsung phone. So I've got notes about the same sort of thing as yourself, Dim, actually, sort of like a wider Ork book, because we talked about it all before, didn't we? And we sort of said, about pulling together like a big Ork codexy type thing or something, just a love of Orks book. But then I started going down another train of thought, and I started thinking of something. So I started actually developing a game that I started just having a mad tangent on for a good couple of hours the other night, like a moment of brilliance that come to me at night. Writing a game for the little Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars, just like Gaslands is, but not Gaslands. It's more of a Gorkamorkery type game.
Mm-hmm.
But you could use the same vehicles that you've actually built for your Gaslands. A lot of the time you could use the same ones, but it's more about building a small team and collecting resources. It's like each game is around collecting so many of these resources, but if you collect sets of resources, then they get you extra points for having collected 5 of them. Then you get an extra 5 points if they're all oil, or something like that. And I sat there and I started adding more and more depth into it. I was like, this is fucking easy. Before long, I'm going to be sitting there with fucking a couple of tanks acting this out and going, this fucking works. Yeah, I think it's good fun as well. And you start thinking, oh, Jesus, it's freeing. You go, and I think you go, well, if I can do it, then lots of other people can do it. I'm going to try some of these other people's games too. I'm definitely trying one-page rules. I want to do that really soon. I've watched a couple of games.
There's a lot of people talking about one page. I noticed.
I played it once before, but it was 15 years ago.
What's the Liverpudlian former GW staff guy called?
Northern Exile.
That's the one. He was talking about them. To be honest, I have played one-page rules before. I've not played one-page rules. I've played other one-page rules systems. They don't do it for me. They're not my thing. But they tend to be quite cool. And what they tend to do is they tend to try and achieve a lot with minimalist rules design, which, when done well, can be really, really cool. The one that I like the most is Fubar. I've played a few games of Fubar. Fubar's a good one if you like your generic sci-fi. You get an awful lot of people who sniffily go, oh, well, it's not really one page because there's always multiple pages. And it's like, yeah. But it's like anything. You've got your core rules and then you've got your faction rules. If your core rules is on one page, guess what? It's a one-page rule set. And, in every case, Fubar is always a one-page. So if you add so you've got Army Builder is one page. Your rules references for sci-fi weapons, for instance, is one A4 sheet. And then your core rules is one A4 sheet. That's all you need to play. And
I think
it works quite well.
One of the
Like
biggest
pound
problems.
shop, isn't it? Really.
One of
Everything's a pound.
the biggest problems I have with 40k and Games Workshop is that the faction rules are too extensive. There's too much to each faction to remember. For anybody, like, you know, you're not going to remember the stuff that your opponent's got because it's hard to remember what your own army's got because it's changing so often and all the rest. Whereas, you know, just having like one special thing about your faction or one special thing about them and then one thing that they can do in the middle of a game or something, you know, like just keeping it really simple in that regard is what I appreciate. Like, I don't like it when big things become too bloated. Like, I like a little bit of flavour, but not so much that it just makes it hard for other people to understand what the hell's going on. You know, I want people to be having a fair chance each of, you know, just taking the standard rule set and, you know, universal special rules and knowing that, all right, this might be called a shooter and yours might be called a bolt pistol or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're both machine gun, right? That one. You know, like every weapon is basically accountable to something, and that's how I think it works best personally. And those are the games I like myself more. I don't mind that maybe, you know, you've got an army that, like with the Orcs, where actually they've got a negative to their shooting. You know, like, you know, there is, I think, one page rules even does have something like that where it's just called NAF shot or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm down with that. That's absolutely fine. You know, like, it's cool. It's flavourful. But I think, yeah, there's trouble with GW, too much bloat. Plus, also, one of the things I noticed in all the games I've played so far for quite a few years now is that there's too many instances, and I've heard other people say it, so I'm not the first person to notice it or anything, but re-rolls happen so often that they just stop the flow of a game from actually taking the course it would naturally take. You can go,
you shower the miserable bastards. Cheer the fuck up. It's the weekend.
It's
For
natural
the
to
love of Christ, fuck me. Sitting there watching the stream going, you shower the miserable cunts, I tell you, for fuck's sake.
If you've got the option there to, like, use, and everyone else is using it, then you're going to use it, aren't you? But yeah, I do think it's not so good, the old rerolls thing.
I do still not understand why all orcs still have this problem of crappy shooting. Like, it's just a thing of, like, it's one of the things I don't miss about, like, sort of 3rd edition era 40k, so 3rd to 7th. It was just so much copy-paste of just the same profiles over and over again. BS2,
what do you mean?
Which is 5.
It makes sense to me that an orc wouldn't be as well, you know, wouldn't be concentrating on his shooting as much as a human.
But
yeah,
there was
but
a cultural
weight of
shift,
fire
is the
should
thing.
basically counteract that. My problem is if you were doing a stripped down, if you're going for a simple system, you want a simple system, right? Then you have to agree that all of the factions comes down broadly to troop quality, right? And you can have it that certain troop qualities mean that they hit less often, but that's just that they're less disciplined, and that would probably be universal as to whether they're fighting in combat or shooting. But here's the thing. You got to agree that effectively their tank killing weapons more or less pretty much function the same way. That their small arms fire functions the same way. It's designed to kill the things in front of it.
With the other, don't you? You take away a little bit of ballistic skill and you add a little bit of ferocity when they get into combat. You know,
you don't even need that. Like if GW people are really on this bandwagon of it's all the rules need to be simple, you can get rid of all of that. Just remove all of it from the game. Just remove all of it. Now, I suspect that a lot of you are thinking, well, hang on a minute, I like all my factions feeling different. Well, yeah, and that's the quandary you now have. That is why the rules are in the way that you have them. That is why this is always a problem, because GW is stuck in that triangle.
Why is there such a focus on the rules? Like, I've noticed, like even in our conversation, it seems to always go back to the rules. Like, even with Tread saying, you know, I've looted wagons there, but there's nothing that they could be played as. It's like, well, why not? Why not make a data sheet? What's wrong with making a data sheet?
Oh yeah, do very much intend to, but then that's another further step, another extra hurdle to do. So at the moment, I'm like, well, I've got other things that I've got lots of models that are in different stages of being built, and I'm not going to go to the ones that are going to be not much use to me, or that I'm going to have to take an extra step with first, when I've got other things that I can go, well, if I finish that off, I can use that. And
why are they not much use to you, though? Like, even the language that's being used and the mentality, it's like,
well, it's not.
If you want to make something, make it. You know what I mean?
I love them miniatures, and I'm going to enjoy it when I do build them and when I do something with them. It's just that it's just an extra step to that,
Dred, think about this: that the most of the joy that we all receive from this hobby, we play against each other once a year, and we have a couple of. Most of the joy from this hobby comes from what we're doing now, painting and chatting. Like, surely it's all about the modelling for us, especially us lot. Do you know what I mean? That's where most of the joy comes from.
Why do we do the modelling? Why do we do the painting?
Because it's really cool.
Do we do it to make paperweights, or do we use it to use in a game?
Well, I've shifted.
We might as well just play chess then.
Yeah, I've shifted. I've noticed personally after our league that as I've gone through the hobby and as I've gotten older and as I've changed and my hobby's changed. So initially when I started, they were just playing pieces. It was all about what the rules were, what the miniature's supposed to be, and just build them as they are. But
grey plastic, yeah,
exactly. But as time's gone on, I'm more like, well, I want to build Stone Boys. Well, why do I want to do Stone Boys? Are they powerful in the meta? No. I want to do Stone Boys because I want to do this cool conversion that looks ace. And if I only go by what's good and what isn't good in the rules, I wouldn't do that conversion because it would be detrimental due to line of sight rules. But you just fucking ignore it and you go, I'm only going to be playing with me mates. We're going to have a laugh. And these are going to look fucking awesome, regardless of how good or they aren't. It's about what mentality you choose to have on the hobby. I know it's not easily facilitated, but you also control what you want out of it.
I definitely feel more people in the hobby should have that outlook. They don't.
Yeah, I genuinely do have that outlook. I'm just I've got quite a wide variety of things to choose from. So I mean, like you say, obviously line of sight, fucking Deffskullz that are flying up massively high like that. It's I do myself out of it. I don't care, but everything is about the modelling for me. All of them. I'm just but there's no point in me putting a bunch of time into a box. I've got like several boxes of tank potentials now. 4 of them I think are from like Rhinos and Lehman Russes that I would struggle to use as anything but a truck in a game against anyone other than you guys. Obviously I can make up a data card and I can make up my own looted or medium Ork tank thing eventually, yes, but when I've got other things there that are like a battle wagon that's half done or something that is equally a cool model, but it's something that I can use in all my games, and when I've got a limited amount of things actually painted, it takes me forever, then I am tending to sort of go, well, I'll focus on, something that's a Death Dread rather than something that's what is this even? What am I going to call this? I don't know, So it's just, it just is an extra reason. I know it's something I fight against myself, and I don't like the way that GW sort of control the hobby in that sort of sense. But it is also something that does, I'm just acknowledging that it does inevitably have an effect on, decisions made. And that's why I think it bothers people. Is like, people go, oh, I don't understand why it bothers you. You can just use it out of Legends. It's like, well, it does bother people because.
I'm not saying it shouldn't bother you. I'm just more erring on the side of letting a corporation dictate what you actually do with your hobby. Like, once you've bought the miniatures, the game's yours.
It's yours, exactly.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
What you and your mates decide, if you want to play one-page rules, go for it. Like, I think it's breaking free of the shackles of worrying what a company is or isn't doing, and getting to the stage where you just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? You have a laugh with your mate. This is how I look at it now. 40k's beer and pretzels for me. I have a laugh with you lads.
Got another price.
If I'm going to play with
by the way.
somebody else, they have to have the same mentality as you. So like if I made a data card and I showed it to you and I'd be like, here, look, I want to try this data card. What do you think? And he said, I'll be like, yeah, give it a bash. You did that cool conversion. Have a laugh. I would intentionally look for people with the same sort of mentality, and I would just play less 40k. You know, if someone was like, no, I don't, you know, it's not an official data card. You know, you shouldn't use it. I'm like, that's grand. We don't play then.
Definitely making one for that Cruiser Death Dread, the Mega Dread. I'm definitely doing one for that because I want to be able to play with that, and I want to be able to use all the different attachments on it.
Yeah, go for it, man. Make the game your own. That's what like Priestley would say. You know what I mean? That's the original sort of spirit of the game is make it your own. You know, make your own data cards, have your own fun, make your own scenarios. Rule of cool when it comes to hobby.
I would like to have a go at playing someone at current 40k and just saying, so we just not have command points or just do away with, you know, that system as well. Just try it without it.
Yeah, and it's about finding people who are willing to do that. That's all. You know.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think command points should allow rerolls.
Yeah, that's.
I think there is some of the missions. I think it's some of the missions. Maybe it was custom ones I've seen online, but there's definitely some of them where I've seen games played online where they've used command point to use like the strats and that, and the reroll strat costs double, so it's 2 CP for a reroll, and it just really, really restricts how much you use it. And even on tabletop tactics, the chef lad. Chef, I believe he's called. He won't use rerolls at all. He hates rerolls. He thinks as in like for the CP. No, I'm not spending any CP. Never. He doesn't even mention it anymore. He just doesn't do it. And there's times where he'll go, "Do you want to use a reroll?" He's like, "Nah, no, that's janky. You don't like it." And he won't reroll.
Sure.
It is very anticlimactic when something happens in the game and it's like, Steve-O's Dread turns around and, fucking turns me Warboss into fucking pate or something like that because I failed on me saves. And it's like, no, I'll use a reroll to make that last save and you don't end up killing them. It's like, well, you've killed the narrative and the flow of the game, so I can understand.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
The worst one, which they did sort of change, to be fair, was that, when you got a vehicle that explodes, and then as soon as it exploded, reroll, and you just reroll it and it doesn't explode. And that was shit, because nothing ever exploded. You had a 1 in 36 chance of something exploding, essentially, if you're
that's right.
Reroll at it. And nothing exploded. Then they said you can't do it.
You can't do it the other way around. You can't flip away your fucking useless and entirely pointless command points on trying to make your things more likely to explode, which is what's the fucking point?
Do you know, I was thinking of a way around that. Do you know what would be cool? A command point where it explodes on like a 4+ or a 3+. So you spend it before the roll's made.
Yeah.
So it's more likely to explode.
I'm happy. I wouldn't say no to a strat with an auto.
Yeah, sort of.
Certain factions, not a generic one.
I've been thinking about it for my rebels. Yeah,
lots of factions do have it, but for some reason, orcs, which you'd think would be the most likely to have it, barring maybe Gene Stealer cults or just a bit, not right in the nut. But orcs should definitely have it. Definitely. They had the flying headbutt strat, which
that was cool.
Was just crash your fucking plane into the enemy. Mint.
Yeah, but we got rid of that because we can't be having fun,
Yeah, what was you talking about, though, Sid? What should we have?
An auto explode strat.
Oh right, okay.
So if your vehicle's destroyed, you can play a CP, or just fuck it. You can play the whatever CP it is, 1 or 2, whatever.
And then write it up for the next Warboss meet or the next
it doesn't even have to be destroyed. You could just fucking.
Yeah, I just say, like, in games with people, if they're up for it, just say, can we do orcs stuff explode on 5s? Because it's ramshackle. It's built like that. They're not thinking about whether they put that canister of gas too close to that fuel tank and that electrical outlet, and so none of that's been considered because they're not thinking about safety. So yeah, if you do hit it and it fucking takes an internal hit and it penetrates and all the rest, then yeah, there's a good chance it might explode more than something built by humans that's got safety considered.
Yeah, something with a fuel tank sort of bolted to the outside is more likely to explode than a fucking
like a scorcher buggy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or even like an extra DACA upgrade or something like that. Then it's like, you'll have a special ability for shooting. But then when you are destroyed, you're more likely to explode because, they've piled a shed load of ammo into this thing to get more DACA out of it. So it's more likely to go pop. You know what I mean? Have fun with that sort of stuff.
We are literally making the case right now for house rules being a thing.
Yeah, totally. House rules should be a thing. I strongly think that we should do like one-day events and stuff like that. Like if you were doing an Orc meetup, you should do, like we were doing this back in the day, where you should just make your own scenarios and make your own special rules, teleporter pads. You go on to it and roll a d6 and, it might short out if you roll the 1 and then you'd have 5 other pads on the table and be teleported and then just...
We had 6 objectives and they all had a different behaviour.
Oh, yeah, because you'd have numbered. Like carnifexes and stuff like that.
Carnifexes would pop out of one of them. 3 carnifexes.
Yeah, Jesus.
One of them was called Bog Off the Snotling, so that would literally...
And he'd run around the battlefield.
The objective would literally scatter 2d6 direction at the start of each turn, and it would just move.
That was hilarious.
So you kept having to chase it around the battlefield. One of them was an ammo dump, so you rerolled ones to hit, I think. That was a bit boring. One of them was a custom force field, so like when you were in it, you had an invulnerable safe. And I think one of them was booby-trapped, so it exploded.
I think we did something with, like...
I can't remember what the 6th one was.
Super heavy vehicles as well. When they were destroyed, they could be claimed as objectives. I think we did that once.
We did quite a few. We had quite a few sort of like little bits and pieces that did all sorts of stuff. We had
because it's more fun, like, Do you remember? You'll think back a year or two later. Do you remember I killed your fucking Skullhammer battle fortress, and then my lad set up inside it, then the wreckage, and fucking shot the shit out of everyone? Yeah, That's the type of stuff that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so sick of this tournament standard to every fucking game. It's like,
but then don't have it.
I'm not. That's why I've decided no. Fuck no. Like,
good man. I agree with you.
Point?
So now that you've decided, up to the tournament stuff, what are we doing for our own variation of scenarios and games? What's the get on to the the creative? You know what I mean? Because I know what you're like when you get started. You're like into a fever of fucking I'll write this down.
Well, I've already figured out how tin boys work. So I've already done that. So they're more or less done. I do need to fiddle with the profiles more. I haven't even thought about points yet. But the general gist of it is that they're immune to battle shock entirely. Unless at any point in the game they're no longer within range of something with the controller keyword. And very few things will have controller keyword. So you will be able to grant that to maybe one big mech or mech in your army. That'll be it. So if your opponent can kill that, they're effectively battle shocked for the rest of the game. And there might be like a couple of ways to maybe get 1 or 2 extra on the table, especially if you take a freebooter army. But the idea is that they're immune to battle shock, so that they don't feel the effects of it. However, if they don't, they have battle shock and they have an extra random effect. So they will do a random thing because they just automate themselves. So that's how they work, and they've got like a really good feel no pain. So they're tanky as fuck, they're really hard to kill, and they're immune to battle shock most of the time. Almost all of the things I've been playing around with at the moment have all been to do with battle shock, because I think, for one thing, battle shock is the thing that interests me most about 10th. But I've been thinking about like...
I like it, yeah, it's one of the rails I like.
Freebooters, because the idea I had with the freebooters army is the freebooter units, because they're mercenaries, I was like, right, well, you cannot give these stratagems if you add them in your army. You can't. They are a mercenary unit, you don't really trust them, right? And they're not going to gain objectives for you either, because of the weird way that they work. But most freeboot units will they might hold it for you, but a lot of freebooter units will deny your opponent objectives, and that's all they're good at doing. But if you take a freebooter army, if you deny all of them, you get fuck tons of points. So that's how you run them as an army. And so I've been thinking about stuff like that. So like playing around with objective capture and playing around with battle shock.
Nice. There's an interesting comment here from Tommy Mack. He says he likes the idea of the objectives that are plastic crates that the lids come off. The player doesn't know what's in it until they take the lid off. Explosives, etc. We've done that as well in previous games.
Yeah,
booby traps. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're gonna get.
I did want to have some customized ones for when we had the meat that's just gone, and I was trying to get them done, but they were just going to be purely aesthetic. They basically had the idea of like I was going to have 6 of them, and there's one for each of us. So, and they were all basically little objectives that looked enticing, but were specifically booby trapped for each specific player. So, like Scars was BattleTech salvage boxes in a minefield, and then I fought for Dread. What did I do for Dread? Oh yeah, it was a mimic squig that disguised itself as like a treasure chest. It's a very freebootery.
Oh, fucking! Have you seen it disguised itself as an M&S fucking shopping bag? That's what it disguised itself as.
Clint's Essex's was a little chef, a grot on a barbecue, so it was a literal little chef. I think Sid's was alcohol related, that was totally not poisoned. Mine was you know the Temple of Doom idol. Replace the idol with Matt Ward's severed decaying head. There you go. And then the words "not a trap"
an empty soapbox
written on it. Yeah, it could be an empty soapbox. My favourite one was Steve-O's. I think Steve-O's was the best one I came up with, which was literally, it was a bob catcher. So it was like free medal for Bob, and then it was like a little net underneath to capture him.
I mean, you could still build these. Like,
I'm still planning to at some point, but at the moment there's not really much point, because next time we meet, probably not going to be 40k games involved.
Big Ork and Morka, is it?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
I'm quite excited to play Gorkamorka, I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to building a little mob. It should be fun.
The problem I have is deciding, because I would run any of them, and at the same time I'm kicking myself in the back of my head, because it's just the thing I always say to anybody when you're starting a specialist games is, look at a specialist game like an investment, right? You pay some money, for a one-off thing, you get a mob or a gang, or a Blood Bowl team, insert or a fleet, insert your own specialist game type, and you've bought them once, and then 5 years time, even if it's 5 years time, you'll play it again, and it'll pay for itself twice over in those two campaigns that you played. And if you play it any more often, it's even better, right? And then every single time Gorkamorka comes around, it's like, what different mob am I making this time? And it's like, I already have a very big Rebel Grot Gorkamorka mob that, granted, I never finished repainting, but is most of the way there, because I've pretty much painted all of the grots. So there is literally just the vehicles to repaint, and that's not exactly challenging for Rebel Grot vehicles. And I was like, but I could do diggers though. So I could do diggers, or I could make an entirely new mob. And I'm literally like that one. That is one of the other things that my brain is whirring around in, is that I've been working on a few extra mobs for Gorkamorka specifically. So I've got a couple of mobs in mind. I've been working on a mob called Digger Renegades, which is diggers that didn't leave the dark. So they emerge with very fancy, weirdly fancy technology. That
Filthy clanners.
Yeah. And they wear night vision goggles so they don't see the sun, and they really, really don't like orcs at all, and they very much don't like the other diggers and regard them as traitors. So it's like interesting stuff, basically. So
how's the Southern Tribes meetup going? Is that still going ahead? Any news on that, Dread?
No news at the moment. Still trying to get it all sorted out. Yeah.
What's the date you've set for that, Dread?
October, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll definitely be up for that.
So what's that going to be? Sorry, I was just there. I had to go and put the bed to bed.
Yeah.
I was asking them when the southern tribes meet up.
All right.
It's going to happen.
We try and do it in October, yeah. Still haven't heard back from the guy at the moment for the venue, but yeah, I'm basically.
Oh yeah.
Where doesn't work out.
Where is that shop, mate?
Down blah, 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 Bexhill. So basically Hastings.
Hastings again. What's it we using bloody Hastings?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get as far away as possible.
No, it's quite literally just if I'm going to organise something, then it's easier for me to organise something.
If I'm organising, it has to be in my back garden. So, like, if I organise the Northern Tribes in Dublin, you all have to fucking come over then. It's how it works, yeah?
That's how it works.
For fuck's sakes, that's... Right, so Warhammer World then, yeah?
But Hastings is still quite not quite a distance, but it's not a like half-hour drive for you, is it?
No, it's an hour. It's still an hour away, but it's close enough. I can go down and actually set things up and all the rest of it, And besides, I know the area, so if people want to come early or leave, a little bit later the next day, I can show people around and stuff like that. Well, the plan is we'll have a curry the night.
Will you be charging for these tours?
Nah, we charge
just standing there with his cap in hand, at the end of the tour, the usual.
Yeah,
we don't have to pay.
Yeah.
An Ork umbrella.
What was that little fella off coach trip? He still organised everything. I can't remember. It was a daytime TV thing.
Yeah, what's the comments doing? Oh God, lots of stuff.
Don't mind me, I'm over here forging the narrative, building 12 meganobs. Oh yeah, great crack. My team is fromage. Fucking team's cracked. Army, fucking bollock. Oh man, it's my team. Fuck's sakes.
What was he saying before? What were you saying before, Dread? It's like, I didn't really know the rules. It's like,
don't try that fucking shit with me.
Fucking shit.
Getting all the practice games.
You were telling me specifically how the war rule works.
No, I didn't.
Good to see you got over that one, Tim.
No. Still
my God.
Hit a nerve at all. Love it.
I just can't wait for people to see the episode and then they'll know.
So what format would you do if you were doing a meetup? Would you do like everyone just plays little games, or would you do a mega battle? I have to say I am partial to a mega battle myself.
I hate playing them, but I like looking at them.
The thing I want to do with the meetup down south is basically have a big apocalypse battle that is taking place across several different tables. So it's the same battle, but it's taking place at different stages across several tables, because he's got 3 big tables that we could have. You
can have them interact. That's doable. Like
yeah. We could have the 4x6s and maybe able to push a couple of them up to each other. So, but then there'll be a few. If there's anyone extra, I want to be able to have. They've got a lot of other smaller tables, so you could have little side games that are all part of the same thing, part of the same story as such. And I was talking to I can't remember. Saying that basically, if myself and Steve-O are like the captains of each team, and it's sort of like the rivalry between us sort of thing, then we could make little badges, little things for the day, like little medals or whatever, that are basically like, just shows what team you're on, red, blue teams, like Steve-O's or Dreads.
We don't need stinking badges.
I think it'd be good.
That sounds very blood axe. Next you'll be giving out medals and fucking, you know what I mean?
And then the idea was, it was me and Steve-O talking, was that if Clint turns up, then we can do a thing where Clint's got some secret orders that no one knows, so everyone thinks they're either on Team Steve-O's Team Dread, and they're not. Clint can come in and issue these secret orders to a couple of the players that make them have to target something different that no one was expecting.
Are these all supposed to be secret and you're not supposed to be talking about them, Dread?
Maybe.
If you're quiet for a second, you can just hear Steve-O screaming.
Shut up, Chris!
Let me tell you about these secrets over here.
It was quite funny, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to recycle my joke. If you're going to bring up stuff that's been said in our fucking thing, I'm going to recycle my joke about him. I was 6+ weeks off. Yeah. I felt that deserved a decent giggle.
Yeah, it does.
If he was here to defend himself, see, if he had to say whatever he wants, because he usually does anyway.
Oh, that's right. That's why I came on to defend this whole shit about the fucking Riverdance. That was on MTV, you fucking plonker. Yeah, it wasn't fucking Eurovision. Jesus fucking Christ!
I got annoyed on your behalf.
Riverdance was on MTV.
It was. Did you not remember the MTV Music Awards were in Ireland back in the 90s? Yeah, fucking. If there was a light bulb there, it'd be going off. Ding. Oh, yeah.
I love the fact that
I'm a plonker. Never mind.
I love the fact that you've come on to defend Riverdance. You are sitting there. Stop getting Ireland wrong.
Well, listen. Tell you how seriously Ireland takes the Eurovision. We once sent a puppet in a fucking shopping trolley. Like that's how. You know what I mean? That's how serious Ireland takes the Eurovision.
I'm gonna admit, Scar, you're defending Riverdance there, but you're moving your arms way too much for that to be a very valid defence.
No, yeah.
You want to see what's going on below the desk?
Well, you too can sign up to my OnlyFans. Hey,
that was prime for he means he's cock. He won't even bit at it.
Oh no,
I was too far away from the microphone.
So what would you do? Like, if we make a mega battle, like, what
got a bite on it.
Do?
Christ, calm down, mate.
What? I'm interested in this now. Come on, you know what I mean? This reminds me of the old Whammy. So I used to help run them, and it's like, these are actually good crack. These are.
He means
it's like these two players are cheese players, so they can fight off against each other, and then we'll line up these lads. These are very casual players, and then these two are grand. So you have to take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do like 3,000 points on one apocalypse type unit, or you know what I mean?
Well, I thought if we did something a bit similar to, you know, how we had our big boss battle, so people have like 1,500 points, because that is a decent limit, and you can get through that in a day playing your 1,500 points.
Well, it's going to take all day. This game, like, yeah, it'll take all fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, it takes forever to play fucking 40k. People moan about Battletech. It takes too long to play Battletech. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Not compared to fucking 40k. It doesn't. Fuck me.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, you know, like, if you start in the morning and you finish at night, you do like 9 till 9 or something like that. You've got the whole
9 till 9? Jesus. What? Is it be like fucking zombies?
Whole time to hang out, you know?
I mean, well, you'll...
Yeah, time to hang out after
no, there won't be.
Play the game.
If Dread's running that, there's no way there'll be time to talk. That'll be the... You'll still be fucking playing when it's like, right, lads, pack up.
Stop. I've been distracted. I've seen Clint's camera. I'm sorry, I've been distracted. I see a decent paint job and a conversion.
Yeah.
That looks nice. What does it make the body of that from, Clint?
It's a piece of plumbing pipe.
Nice. Yeah. Sweet. I can see bits of boar in a backpack and fucking. It looks like a fucking toothpaste head for the exhaust on it. What is it?
That's a Vallejo paint pot lid.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, in fact, them Vallejo paint pot lids, I've seen them used as exhaust outlets on planes as well.
What do you mean, like Clint's just done? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, you know, like on the back of bombs. That's what I meant.
Bombs, all right, yeah. They do have a sort of bomb sort of shape, don't
they? Gary Houser's put make one with an old vibrator. Just put it in the middle of the table and switch that fucker on to high. It'll clear space.
Oh no, I've got wobbly model syndrome.
Why is that one stuck to it?
That's a whole new meaning to just vibing it, isn't it?
Speak into the mic, Tim. Remember.
I said that's
Look
a
at
whole
that.
new meaning to the word vibing. Oh my god, this fucking.
I love when you start talking into the mic and then you slowly move further and further.
Well, that's what I was saying the other day when I came round. And it's...
Because I'm not saying anything important.
Like, oh, Jesus, how he is.
Never saying anything important, except when I'm ranting at Games Workshop fanboys. Then I'm saying something important. Rest of the time doesn't matter.
We write everything down when that starts. You know what I mean? It's like, quick, he's in a rant again. Quick, take note.
So, Clint, are you rebasing all your buggies into like dynamical poses?
Yeah, that's the idea. So the whole theme sort of all fits on a couple of mega tracks. I'm going to do a new boom decker and a new shock jump as well. So, yes.
We had some great pictures, I have to say, with your Mecha Track Scrapjet because of the angle of it coming up and actually aiming towards the flying stone boys. That was pretty cool.
It looked very good, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice one. Sweet.
I'm going to lean into the cult of speed stuff, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Leave it out of the green side.
What is the next battle report, by the way? Does anybody know what the next one going up is?
I think it's
Maybe Dread.
Sid and Dread, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a poll out, but it's on Steve-O's channel.
Oh, so that means the third one will be me and Clint.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then after that battle report comes up, I can talk about like PTSD I've got after it.
Oh Jesus! Look, that no leaks. You can't hold your fucking piss, like no leaks yet. For Christ's
I didn't say whether I won or lost.
Yeah,
I just
keep
said
it that
I got
way. And
experiences.
fucking keep it that way, you bollocks. I know what you're like. You and fucking Dread. Holy Christ!
But the one we can talk about now is the one that the Dwayne and Steve-O one.
Oh, the one I fucked up. Yeah, no, I messed that up from the get-go.
With your tentative war.
My tentative war, yes. I messed up the deployment on that first game and then learned me lessons going into the rest of the game. So that's why I was super aggressive in the rest of my deployments. I'm like, right up to the edge and go. You know? So, lessons learned.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, I didn't seem too pleased to beat you, did he?
No, not on the slightest.
No, it didn't take much pleasure in that trouncing, did he?
No, do you know what my problem was? I think my problem was I'm not used to playing 10th edition, and I haven't played 40k. Like outside of playing a big game with you lads, like the last game I played was before COVID. So like my perception of what Power Claws can do and the whole meta has shifted massively. I was like, sure, I'll take a few Power Claws. They'll take care of the vehicles. I was like, no, that won't work.
Yeah. But the reaction of the win, it was a little bit like I'd expect to see from a dad running around with his T-shirt over his head in the back garden, screaming 4-0 as his kid sits crying in the goalposts. What?
I fucking done ya!
Enjoyed himself and he slept well that night.
You mug! You mug!
I told you I'm fucking trout, you useless.
We already talked about a rematch. Don't worry, there's a rematch due. So, you know.
Good.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that saw it like that.
It's the small wins.
They go, hang on, who's calling me competitive? Look at this smug bastard can't keep his smile down.
He gave himself a medal at the end of it. Did you see that? I won! Little speech. He cut the speech out, didn't he? I think.
He cut it short, yeah. Fucking. I'd like to thank myself
for making this all possible.
All my subscribers.
My military acumen.
My superior knowledge.
I mean, he's like, so I mean, actually, I've got a lot of points there. So I mean, I could even be in the lead.
Yeah. Oh dear. That was quite funny.
Let's go and see what Greg's doing the fucking triad.
Oh dear.
It was very, very obvious from the fucking start who the fucking try-hard fucks were.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was me, Clint, Scar, and Sid was sort of sitting in the middle, just kind of in both camps, going, I don't really care, but I have taken some nasty shit. You know, and it was.
It doesn't mean you're not trying hard.
Well,
we all had nasty shit.
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest. Some of it was nastier than others. You know, we'll say that much.
Yeah.
Good crack, though. You know,
it was a good crack.
It's starting down here.
Yeah.
Aye, chucking it down outside. Big fat drops of rain.
It's been. Has it been hot though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Lovely.
It's been mega hot down here.
Yeah. I had to work from home because the office was 28.4 degrees.
What?
Oh,
centigrade. And I'm going to do the conversion for any of our American viewers out there.
Fucking cold, pussy.
I'm definitely tanned. Definitely, I've caught the sun for sure. Feel my shoulders are burnt.
Yeah, the t-shirt weather stopped once it stopped snowing.
That's just over 83 degrees Fahrenheit.
I literally put a shirt on 10 minutes before we went on. No, it's so hot.
It was cold in the kitchen today, Sid. I had to work from home. Oh no.
We know you don't do well with the cold. Give us cold any day.
I don't mind the cold.
I'm surprised there's enough room in that kitchen for like, the modern kitchens are so full that they don't even have room for the tiniest fucking violin.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, are you calling Clint a fat bastard? I'm like,
no.
wait.
There's always room for Clint in the kitchen.
I've seen Clint's kitchen. It is one of those ones though where anybody passing through is just getting in the way by just passing through, you know?
Yeah. Are the benches lowered?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or is it just allow the little steps, the little step ladders, little 2 steps, allow the little 2 steps on each station.
It's just up to the pot so we can have a little taste.
Right, we should have done a video just about them Scotch eggs because they were dirty.
Jesus.
Fucking hell.
They were
No,
nice.
we were too busy having like the fucking time of our life eating them for anyone to hold a camera. There was no fucking way anything was interrupting my moment.
Well, I'm sure Dredd could have took some pics.
Yeah. I
was about to say someone didn't need one. I got an extra half. I
got an extra. Yeah, I got extra as well.
Yeah, and so did I. What a fucking shame that Dredd didn't want to.
Oh no!
How fucking sad. Never mind.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I bet
Too
you
bad
guys.
we've got a fucking food snob. How fucking awful.
It's not a food snob thing. I just don't like eggs. Never have done. Can't do eggs.
Tommy Max asking Clint, what reds did you use on the barrel? Assume with barrel on the base.
Clint, is that to Clint? Yeah.
What?
What reds did you use on the barrel?
Evil Sun's Skull, I think mainly. Corn red first, and then a bit of Evil Sun's after that.
Yeah,
I was going to say the GW reds aren't too bad actually. There's someone who normally shits on GW paints. Their reds are good.
I still go to GW for a lot of paints. Not all of them, mind.
No.
I like the browns, and I like the reds, which I suppose is all the same sort of part of the spectrum, really.
I find that golds have a nice coverage, actually.
Yeah,
Retributor gold and stuff.
Gold, yeah.
GW metallics.
Retributor armor is really good.
GW metallics are very good. A lot of the base paints are quite excellent. Although they make them too thick as a consequence, and they make too many of the layers too watery. Which I find annoying, which is why I think the extra opaques are better than GW bases on the whole, although GW bases
the extra opaques are annoying because
problem.
They don't stay the same fucking colour. Oh, fucking
They're better on the whole. I've never put them there.
Don't lie, Sid. You know you have.
Yeah, open yourself up to new experiences.
Tonight after
Clearly,
the
that's the lesson.
Well, you're
not
not
some light
supposed
bribery.
to do so. No, that doesn't work.
Go on, crowbar that one in. Try.
Is this where you have the various brands that try different shaped pots? Is this what's going on here? Is it? Today I feel like a Vallejo.
Feel like a Vallejo.
Well, I very much have a Vallejo now.
Oh, it's gone now. How am I getting that bomb back?
No, you see it. No, you don't.
Well, you see, Doctor, I was painted in the nude, and I tripped, and I lost.
I've pulled this one out, and it's emerged as an army painter paint. Now I know. Oh, that's how they're made.
My hobby desk is over here, and my camera desk is over here. I put the paint down on my seat. The lads asked me to come and check paint on the computer. I come back, I sat down, gone. Didn't know where it was.
We've also found this drop pod.
Yeah, sounds plausible, Dredge. You'll get away with it. I don't think this one's going to look quite as dynamic, but something like that.
That looks great.
Yeah. That'll do. Boom.
Okay.
Side angle shot.
I mean, you could always have it like sort of veering up or tilting up. But then, I see. That's why you've used it. You're using tactical terrain.
Yeah, tactical terrain, man. It's the way forward.
Well, it is when a man does it well, rather than use it as an excuse to fucking string together two widely separated fucking legs.
Or a set of tracks and a skid. Yeah.
Pinch you for paint.
Right, let that dry.
But I see you're building your stamp upside down, Sid.
Yes.
Very nice.
Oh, you dirty bastard. Yep, it's upside down. I was thinking as well, I might try and for like, our games, if I ever used it, change the data card slightly. I thought maybe more movement, less toughness.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Would sort of fit the theme of it, big long legs, but obviously big long legs. Shoot it, skinny legs.
Take them down.
But it's going to be, I think it's about the size of the Warhound, not the Warhound. Oh, yeah, the Warhound, the Forge World Warhound.
Shannon.
Yeah.
It's comparable in size to that at the minute.
Remember when the Warhound used to seem like huge?
Yeah.
And now they've fucking so many Titans out and stuff.
It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive. He brought it around for a game. We've done a thematic sort of game, a bit of a narrative one. Orcs Drift. And it was a load of Space Marines. I think it was taken from one of the White Dwarfs from donkeys ago. A load of Space Marines defended it wasn't a farm because it was our terrain, so an old rusty industrial complex.
Well, that stand up at Glacier's Creek, it was called.
And we, in the Orcs attacked, and I had double the points he did. But we sort of said, look, if one of us takes a hammer and you can bring in reinforcements. And he was, to be fair, taking a bit of a hammering, but he brought loads of anti-tank stuff, and I just brought loads of mobs. Because I thought, just like Zulu, charging in. So his reinforcement was a Warhound Titan.
Jesus.
Sort of like crept in the back.
Just snuck in, yeah.
Just snuck in. Never saw it coming.
You have a narrative game with your Stomper and you have to roll for weather. What happens if it rains? That thing's fucking filling with water, isn't it?
No, it's got a lid.
Oh, okay.
It's not a big cup. Actually, I'm doing it for Gork and Morgan. I'm just going to pour all the boys inside.
Well, that's a good idea.
Walking chalice. Ooh, I'm sure there's a play on the Holy Grail there. Name-wise. What clan are you doing it?
Gork's Goblet.
Do you know what? I don't know. I was thinking originally when I decided to do the Stomp, I was going to do it like Goth. I've got the Bad Moons one, but I think I might go Deffskullz.
It was the Eye in the Sky. That was an interesting one that launched Deffskullz.
Yeah, well, it's going to have a helipad on it as well.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah.
As well as like a big sort of gun, sort of turrety, fortressy bit.
Because there was like a whole renaissance when the Stomper Kit Force came out. There was this whole, like, there was a load of conversions. There was the Goth Rock and Roller, which had a Death Roller.
Which one of our friends actually owns?
Yes. There's like fucking Claw Stompers. There was the Eye in the Sky, which launched like Deffskullz, which was cool because it had its own little platform and stuff. Yeah, there's loads of them. I was hoping to see, a lot of conversions. I'm glad to see you're doing it, but I was hoping to see a lot of conversions with the sudden injection of Stompers into the hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a 4-year-old one with a belly gun and a claw and everything that probably needs to be done.
Well, I've got the custom one, and I used the lifter dropper on it and the belly gun, but I'd done my own head. In fact, I'm just see if I can grab it. It's just there, and I've took all the minis out.
One. That looks
yet from the meetup.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
Oh my god, and there's the Bad Moon one.
Yeah. That's a plastic hard head as well, isn't it?
Yeah, just made out of plastic card, yeah. The head does come off.
Right, hey. Well, not the backpack, as you were saying.
No.
It's like, I'll do this for ease of transportation, and then, yeah.
I was going to do the arms as well, but I lost my tempo of them and just rammed a couple of barbecue skewers through to pin them in place. So unfortunately, no, they don't come off. But it's got the belly gun and the lifter dropper.
Yeah.
I've got the head and the claw.
Is that the Fordwell belly gun, is it?
It is, yeah. But the whole sort of like front plates resin as well. And it just didn't fit. It didn't fit at all. So it's like, you can't see it now because
Is that a wild Steve-O he's here for me?
A lot of green stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So you had to do a fair bit of filling to get the belly plate to fit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was right pain in the arse.
Yeah, I remember me mate Sci-Fi, he was saying that to me as well. He was like, see, the two of us bought it at the same time because it was when the Forge World store first changed over to its previous iteration. And they'd got the pricing wrong. So the one with the belly gun was cheaper than the one without the belly gun because you could buy it with the head and the arms and no belly gun. And then you could buy it with the belly gun and it's supposed to be 30 quid more or whatever, or 40 quid more or whatever. So they'd gotten the pricing wrong. So the two of us were like, rocked up the Forge World and we were like, what's the story with this? And he's like, well, that's the price in the store. That's the price we have to sell. And we were like, I'll have one of each, please. And it's sat in a plastic bag ever since.
What's all this shit I hear about me being the try-hard competitive player?
I didn't say the solitary try-hard competitive player.
Don't worry, Dred's there, so you're in good company, Steve-O. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you think that makes it better? You're lumping me in a category with Dred, you bunch of cunts.
Yeah, that's the
If the glove fits, you've no one to blame but yourself here, bud, all right? Fucking.
That's what we have to do to get into join.
The reason, people, I was so happy was because I was having such a fun game with my fellow bald knob, and the absolute trouncing I gave him was just a little cherry on the cake. Just
Oh, don't worry, I'm making on me magnums for the rematch. Be grand. Don't you fucking worry. You gotta be lightly. You know.
Oh, Jesus.
I've
Building it like that again. Fucking hell.
as the audience can probably see, I'm coming at you from a different location. I'm now in the lounge, and it's bloody lovely.
You need a couple of cushions on that chair, mate.
Can we get Ork Warbosses cushions? Since we have a merch store now, is there an Ork Warbosses cushions merch?
Look, I'm all dressed up and everything. I'm in my dressing gown.
Straight from the hot tub, are you?
I'm pretty straight from the bathtub, mate. I was sitting in there, fucking getting my head and shoulders on and that, and I heard you all like, fucking bastards. Jumping out of the tub.
Can you get dandruff in your arse crack?
Ah, shit.
That's the wrong colour. Damn.
I have to say, I'm loving the Mega Nobs kit. You get loads of claws, and because they have like the peg and socket arms, you don't have to glue them either. And you're like, oh, well, you know, I want him to have the kill, so I'll just be like, plop.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
It's a cracking kit.
It is. I also discovered the hard way that, you know, once you've assembled it, it actually floats, especially in hot cups of tea. I was trying to move them from the table onto the. I have like a shelf, and I fucking dropped one. I was like, oh, well, look, it floats. Oh, Jesus. There you go.
It mixes really nicely with the knobs kit as well. And head swaps and stuff and bits.
I'm trying to find more of them heads. I need to go into bit sellers or whatever. The Salt and Black Reach. The Black Ork heads.
Yeah, you've done the same as a load of my Mega Knobs like that as well. The Black Ork heads go so well on the Mega Knobs.
Yeah, the Black Ork heads, and then giving them extra shoulder pads, and then I'm gonna build respirators and do me green stuff, tubing as well. So, yeah, and then some medals, because clearly, you know, they're blood axe Mega Knobs. They'll have gone through the wars and earned a trophy or two or a medal or two. You know what I mean? So I'll have to start making some medals for them. I don't know whether I should just make individual medals or whether I should make a medal and then just do like a green stuff push fit mold of it. You know what I mean? Because I have some of this Oya Maru stuff or whatever, or people call it blue stuff. So I could make a mold there. You know?
Very fiddly. Very small one, wasn't it?
I mean, doing the medal.
Can I just point out though, Scott, if you're dropping your Mega Knobs in your brew, does that make them hobnobs?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I tell you, they take a dipping or two like hobnobs, so yeah, maybe.
Not necessarily digestives, as I've learned.
Yeah, who the fuck buys digestives? The fuck? I bought biscuits for you to have with your tea. Yeah, didn't you, fucking hole?
No,
it's
because someone specifically asked for digestives, didn't they?
Digestives are actually all right. The rich tea, on the other hand, though, is just like eating a. And
rich tea. Oh, do you know what that was? When I was saying that, I literally had the packet of rich tea in my mind's eye, and you know, so I'll never look at a packet of rich tea and not think of them again. I'll be like, for fuck's sakes.
The shittest biscuit known to man.
It's not even
sending your mate out to buy biscuits and he comes back with a packet of rich tea.
It's almost
you think you know a man and he pulls shit like that.
I think a rich tea is actually classified as a coaster. The shit one at that. I'd rather eat cork.
I mean, the cork one will taste better. Look at all the guns.
Something I did notice about Glossop, they did have an abundance of coasters. We just left them a few more with the rich tea.
No, those rich tea are in my house. They're in my kitchen cupboard now.
For what?
I did actually eat some of them the other night because I was desperate. But I combined them with that jar of lemon curd, and I was dunking rich tea biscuits into lemon curd. It made the biscuits a bit more palatable, I've got to say.
Look, you can use them as a lemon curd delivery system. That's absolutely fine, right? You can do that.
I'm more intrigued at how much of the biscuit was left in the lemon curd after you pulled it out after the dunking. You know what I mean? With a rich tea, it's not renowned for its dipping constitution.
You're all right with curd because his curd's, it's in that point where it's not quite a liquid, it's not quite a solid, so you can just sort of scoop out a big old lump of curd and straight in. It's not
rich
too
tea
bad.
Isn't a crummy biscuit.
No,
it doesn't leave a crumb. It snaps like a small disc of glass. into quite large shards, not safety glass, but deadly glass, deadly glass. I once cut myself.
Viewers, we're talking about cookies. Apparently, cookie is a subcategory of biscuit, though. Jesus. Have you seen what the Americans call a biscuit? This savoury sort of biscuits and gravy, and it's not even normal gravy.
It's like a plain scone, isn't it? Really,
biscuit is from the French for twice cooked.
Chicken gravy. That's what it is. It's like what? One of the lads in work told me about the time he went to the States, and he went for breakfast, and he's like, great porridge," and took a whole bowl of this stuff. That wasn't until he tried it as this fucking gravy because he was getting weird looks off of the Yanks. They were like, "What the fuck?"
If it looked like porridge, it was more likely grits, which are it's very much a porridgey sort of consistency. But yeah, fucking delicious. But I love the American breakfast biscuits and gravy. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, but their biscuits are more like scones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's just a plain one at that. Some cheese in it.
So if it's saying spread a bit of Nutella between two rich tea. Do you know what my grandmother used to do? Butter the rich tea and make put the two of them together like
mother used to do that and that. The thing is, spreading a bit of Nutella between two rich tea, fair enough, it improves them. But if you use something like a digestive, it would be better. And why stop there? Use a couple of
in fairness, spreading a bit of Nutella between anything makes it better. Let's be honest. Like, come on.
Yeah. Put it between your butt cheeks.
I mean, you'll get no complaints then.
The thing is, it's all well and good people like trying to defend the rich tea. They're going, oh, well, if you put some Nutella between it. Yeah, but guess what? If you put some Nutella between two chocolate hobnobs, it's going to be a damn sight better than Nutella between rich tea.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's not what Sid just said there. The fucking
didn't someone just say that? Yeah,
you literally just said it.
My bad. I was distracted.
That was my idea. But it's right, though. It is. Whatever you do to make it better, it would just be better without it. For example, get some Nutella and just eat it out the jar. It's already better than Nutella with rich tea. Because you have the Nutella without the rich tea.
So basically our advice is just put Nutella on it. He means his cock.
Advertising.
Should go along with it, it'll be fine.
Well, I see a few of you are working on stuff. I'm not actually working on anything tonight. I wasn't planning to be on, but I just wanted to. I saw all five of you on. I thought, oh, come on.
Defend your own.
But I have been getting, like I said, I've moved this desk downstairs today. You can see the boxes behind me. There's me army. And then there is my gaming tables. And then all the terrain is behind my body where you can't see. But yeah, it's all there now. So I've it's just got it all in one area. Whereas before I had my sort of YouTube hobby bit upstairs, and then all my gaming stuff downstairs. So now I'm just going to have it all in one place. It's going to be better, and it's made my living room actually bigger as well, where we've moved stuff around. So I'm hoping it helps my hobby mojo a bit now that I've got like a nice clear space to sort of do it on. So I think your surroundings makes a difference to your productivity. I find it very hard with, even if it's like with work related stuff or anything, if my surroundings aren't sort of organized, and I find it very hard to sort of like I don't know, be productive and be motivated.
Yeah, I find if I let the hobby space get too fucked up and
tidy
and untidy.
It's like, fuck it, you can see the floor around here. I need to get into the hobbying again. Jesus.
Exactly. I'm the opposite way. When it gets too tidy, that's it. Oof. Don't want to mess it up again.
But you laugh when you see these YouTubers with their like professional tables and it's super clean. I'm like, these cunts do anything? Like, look, what the fuck? Because mine's a fucking shit pit. There's Sprue, there's Battle Mix, there's, old thwarted metal death treads knocking around. There's bits of fucking everything. Great.
Mine is going to be my bed in a couple of hours.
Yeah, I suppose you got a little bit more constraint there, Dread. So.
I mean, I love the hobby.
That's commitment, and it's sleeping on a bed of sprues.
Yeah.
Could have put a bed in that trailer. But no. Save the sprues covered in cat piss.
Sakes, Jesus, don't remind me, for Christ.
He uses it to fend off the foxes.
That's what it is. Just has them hanging around.
That's it.
Just on bits of fishing wire, like around the place.
It keeps evil spirits away.
Oh, pardon me.
Right.
Did everyone watching live, don't know if you let us know in the comments, did you watch the battle report that we were chatting about earlier? And
good views.
are you going to be watching the next one? Was it Dread and Sid and it?
Yeah.
I'm interested to watch the battle reports that I wasn't in.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we can't share them with you, but we know the results. But we don't know like the ins and outs of what happened. I'm looking forward to watching them.
It'd be interesting to see who was how everyone else was getting on, not having a much easier time because they weren't having to play 40k with me.
I'll have you know, Dim, my game with you was a very pleasurable experience.
They all were.
Not sure.
Yeah, I think we all pretty much. We're all slightly unique and different in our own ways, but in terms of the game and that, we all generally want the same thing from it. We want a mildly competitive, fun, fluffy game where cool stuff happens, and it's just
explosions.
Yeah, just whatever, like all of it.
There still is that question of with the Grot tanks, is it rolling per unit destroyed or rolling per model destroyed? Was it per model we were doing?
It was supposed to be per individual Grot tank, but I kept forgetting that Grot tanks explode because it's the first time they've ever had explodey ever. The Grot mega tanks always had it.
I didn't know No, hang on.
They've got deadly.
I know cans explode. Mech guns don't explode.
They've got deadly demise 1. So if you roll a 6, they do 1 mortal wound to every unit within 6.
I mean, are you really playing 40k if you don't forget something like?
Well,
yeah, exactly.
In spite of the fact that they've managed to streamline deadly demise, half the time I just forget about it because it's such a shit rule. Like when I never forgot a vehicle exploding when the old third ed damage chart was a thing, because I knew I'd made a vehicle explode. But like by the time you get around to doing it in a game of like current 40k, it's like all over and out of wounds. You concentrate with taking models off because you've exhausted yourself rolling loads of dice that did nothing. So like you get through all of that, and then you're like, oh, I've got to roll a dice again to see if maybe I get to roll some more dice. Oh, that was a 1. And the downside of it is there's no way to make that fun or interesting because some things are not more explodey than others. I was like, because that was one of the things I was thinking. It's like, surely.
Well, they give out different, like, there are more.
Yeah. But you'd think a Scorcher would have a little rule where it said deadly demises on 5s or 6s because it's mostly fuel tank.
I was very surprised. I kept forgetting because there's used to my cans exploding, but when my Death Dreads exploded, it's like, oh, it's just deadly demise 1. I was expecting at least a D3 from a Death Dread explosion.
That's given me a silly idea. Like, what if you just had like
Well, in the game I was talking about earlier that I've been making up myself, the dynamic for when you don't actually kill someone, so you don't destroy a vehicle. When it runs out of wounds, it actually then needs repair. So you can attempt a repair roll, and on a 1 it explodes, and on a 2 to 4 it would be being repaired, and then 5 or 6 it's repaired. So it's like you have to use up one of your actions to attempt to repair, but every time you attempt to repair, there's a chance it could explode. So,
So you could do a data sheet. Not a data sheet. You could do a stratagem where you just go right. If you've got a torrent weapon, spend 1 point on this unit with a torrent weapon. It's deadly demise all procs. Or personally, my personal favorite is you just take have you dealt excessive damage
or energy weapons?
If you have excessive damage, how much excessive damage is left? You add that to the roll.
I see it with like energy weapons and things on vehicles. If it's armed with like custom mega blasters and custom mega cannons and things and zap guns and stuff, I think they got like a high chance of overheating and exploding and causing explosion. But also I like the idea of orcs with a what sort of big mech wouldn't put a big red self-destruct button on a vehicle just because? I don't know. I just feel like they would. I feel like it'd be quite a common feature on orc vehicles.
Yeah.
Even if it is a self-destruct button, but it's just got written on it more DACA or something.
I tell you what,
because the big mech thinks it'll be a laugh, I think a stratagem of like self-destruct would be. I don't know why that's not a thing. That should be a thing. Even if it was 2 CP, just like you hit this button, your vehicle auto deadly demises there and then, no matter how many wounds it's got, nothing. So you can just fucking go run and go boom.
If we do have a self-destruct stratagem at any point, I will happily model a Gary Oldman with a cigarette to place in front of the unit for when it explodes. To remember
Listen, English
remember to never mention the red button.
If he was going to have a saying, it would be like when you deploy the death roller. So it's like when you're close in. That's when you want to explode. So it's like it could be the deploy death roller button is actually just the death roller is just empty. It's hollow. It's just filled with fucking explosives or something.
I do like the idea that if you overkill a vehicle, there's more chance of it exploding. Like if it's a Rhino, say, with 1 wound left, and you manage to plink it off with a shooter, then fair enough. It maybe explode on a 6 or something is normal. But if it's got half its wounds left, 5 wounds or whatever it is, and you do fucking 20 wounds to it, every time you surpass its remaining wounds, maybe add 1 to the dice roll, or every 3 extra or 4 extra or whatever, it increases the chance. So if you absolutely batter it,
that's fair.
Yeah, and even maybe sort of like you could focus fire, like you hit it with a you say, right, I'm going to shoot it with these 3 custom mega cannons. First one takes it out. Roll the second and the third one as well, just to see what the total damage would be, and then add all that to it, so you can absolutely try and blow a vehicle up instead of just taking it out. You know,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, totally. Like +1 to the roll for every 3 or something. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Just call it overkill.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be perfectly fine with +1 for every point above every unciv for every remaining additional wound. And you could even add the damage on, because the thing is yes, you're going to very quickly get to 6, and guaranteed explosion. Great, like it's, you know, I mean, you could never use it in the tournament scene because the tournament players will be, that means I'm forced to deploy all of my explosive stuff.
We don't play in tournaments. What are we talking about tournaments? We don't fucking play them, for the love of Christ.
No, I just wanted to shit on them for kicking off about templates, because
for fuck's sakes.
I'll tell you what we should totally do. We should all get together and come up with our own stratagems, and
we should come up
we'll
with
publish them for everyone free, but just try them out in some of our games and stuff. Just have a few fuck about our own stratagems.
An admission fee. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think, well, if we need to follow what the big boys do, so I think a subscription system where you have to sign up to Essex Boys OnlyFans, and by extension you get access to the app, which allows you a discounted coupon to obtain our stratagems,
and you'll get a free
as opposed to Essex's cookery Patreon, OnlyFlans.
And that's cookery spelled C-U-C-K.
Viewers, bear in mind when you get
the app. I could design the app. I've never done it before, so it wouldn't work. But I don't think that really is a factor that people are that bothered about. It just
certainly doesn't affect GW, does it?
We've come to accept it.
Oh yeah.
Although I've got to say, the current app for army building is thoroughly fucking good and reliable, and I've had no issues with it actually. So
it's better than the first one they did, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's fucking low bar, isn't it?
Well, for me, it's the best list building I've done on phone.
The website.
I can't think of
legends on it. It's really annoying.
That's its big downfall.
Yeah, it should have legends units on it. Yeah.
Of course it fucking doesn't. Yeah. Of course it fucking doesn't. You fucking wankers.
But what I was saying about the stratagem cards, if we do come up with our own stratagems and make some fun ones for use in your like fun games and that, what we'll do though is once we've released them, a week later we'll FAQ them and change all the CP costs.
2 days before release, we'll FAQ and add them.
See, people are like, Dim, why are you always so cynical about GW stuff? It's just like, because there's always a fucking catch. Anyway, sorry,
what we'll do
carry on,
get together, we'll just piss Dim off, and at the bottom of every single stratagem, just in the fine print, it will just say, not for use on grot units.
Just to get back on target.
This is the first edition where that hasn't been true, though.
I didn't even know there was a target.
That's the first edition where that hasn't been true, though. That's the first time where,
just to get we're back on there. Sci-Fi said apparently a Garibaldi's a biscuit. Is it better or worse than rich tea? And I would say better.
Much better.
Everything is better than a rich tea. Is that we can't make this any more clear? That's the
overriding rule. Yeah, that's the core rule. But it's laminated.
As we're going,
laminated. Those nice biscuits are misleading. It says nice, but they're not all that nice.
They're cracking. They got the sugar on top.
No, they're not all that nice at all.
They're just not the fucking fields now, but you ate the fuck. They're grand.
Nice biscuits are not a supreme, gourmet biscuit. They're not. They're not up there. No, but
they're not.
They as an everyday, munch. They're a good biscuit.
I wouldn't eat that every day.
I would have them over the. See, I love shortbread, but I can't really stand cheap shortbread biscuits.
Proper Scottish shortbreads. The fucking
yeah, mate. Oh yeah. Yeah,
so those cheap shortbread biscuits would be pretty fucking low for me as well because they just don't taste of nothing.
Yeah.
The nice biscuits, Dread, are actually pronounced Nice, like the city in France. They're not from France. They're a British biscuit, but they called them Nice to make them appear more classy.
All right.
Biscuit facts. I've got loads of biscuit facts.
Well, we also have the Burgundy biscuit as well, which is also a region in France.
Oh, you don't start bending over again.
No. And the Bourbon.
We saw enough of your Burgundy biscuit. Thank you very much.
Thankfully, I seem to have avoided this situation.
Yeah. Seeing as we are mentioning all comments, though, I should probably mention, because I laughed at Tommy's and then didn't read it out. But when we were talking about Nutella improves everything, Tommy Mac put Nutella on the new boys.
If you put enough of it on, it would improve them.
Yeah.
At the meetup, Dim was so excited to show me his bidet, and he actually wanted to demonstrate it.
Yeah.
Would you like a live demonstration, good sir?
No, Dim, no.
Oh God. Right, it's fucking. It's over 11:10, you share the bastards, and it's a school night.
Well, they just fucking turned up.
Yeah, I know you've only just turned up. We'll be here until fucking 1 in the morning.
Dressing gown. I'm sorry, audience. I do give a shit.
He was running this shit.
Now, I'm probably not giving that impression.
Sorry that we interrupted your precious bath time, princess.
Well, you know, got to maintain this beauty. Just damage control at this point.
No idea what you mean.
Is that what the head and shoulders is for?
Hey, look, come on. It's not that bad being bald. You know, one day you just lose your hair and then you've got no friends.
Hair today and gone tomorrow.
And the respect of your children.
It's a quiet life.
That was the funniest thing the other day when you said that Steve-O said his wee daughter turned around and he said to his wee daughter, "Oh, you look really pretty in your dress." And she said, "Oh, you look really bald today."
Yeah, it was as I said to her. I said, "Yeah, darling, you look. I said you look really pretty today. Just wanted to tell you that." And she leant over me and she said, "Daddy, you look really bald today. I just wanted to tell you that."
Bald is beautiful. Embrace it.
Oh, bless her.
Love it.
Yeah, me laddie says, he said to me, "Are you is your YouTube channel sponsored?" And I went, "Not really, no." He goes, "I thought you were sponsored." I went, "No." He goes, "I thought you were sponsored by McDonald's." I went, "Why?" And he went, "Thanks, son. Thank you for that." Loving it.
You're like, your time will come, don't you?
I love it up now, kidder.
I ripped the piss out of my dad's hairline. Fucking hell, he's got more hair than me now.
Tempted fate there, bro. Tempted fate there.
Yeah.
I bet that's been brought up.
Yeah. I can't blame. I don't blame him. I had it coming. This is justice.
That's probably why I let you say it though, because he was like, "I know your genetics."
That's it.
I know it's coming in your future.
Are you sure he wasn't just putting Veet in your shampoo bottle or something? Like
Little cunt. Little cunt. I'll fucking show him.
Yeah, look.
The hair fairy's been.
Not again.
But this smells like peroxide.
Yeah, but when your kid hits you with a decent burn, it's like
there must be a little bit of pride.
I mean,
you don't tell them off. You just
inside you're dying, but you're also going. So
she loves it. Like every time she gets a good one, I'm
so
like,
proud,
"Oh, darling."
here.
I'm like, that was a sick burn. I'm gonna need some cream on that in the morning. Oh, and she's just loving it. So I just thoroughly encourage it.
Daddy, are you crying? Some of it's pride. Some of it.
Yeah, it is. It's like when they do that, I think like what I feel like deep down as a father, I feel like, yeah, you're gonna be all right. You'll be all right out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. I'm like, fair. So I don't want to discourage that at all. Because I give it as well. I take the piss out of the kids constantly. I'm always doing impressions of them and stuff, especially when they have little tantrums and that. I love to demonstrate to them.
Yeah.
So
you get funny looks in Tesco's though. when you're thrashing around on the floor. I want lager.
my missus, her dad did that in the middle of the supermarket for her sister when she was growing up. They always told the story of it, how he just not quite threw himself on the floor, but he did the stab with it, and she just froze up and I didn't know what the hell to do and suddenly fell into line. But
yeah, I think one of the best ones I've done in the supermarket, and I think I might have told you this before, and I apologise if I had, but people there might not have heard it. But it was in Aldi, and I was just there with the missus, and just dead competitive. And we're just getting a few odds and ends in, and she went to get a loaf of bread, and she picked the bread up, and I was a good sort of like 8 yards away from her. And I just sort of went like that with the basket and held it out, presented a target, and she went, and I was like, she just cocked her arm and launched it, and I just fucking turned away and walked. there was people in the aisle, and this loaf of bread just sailed through the air and hit the deck, and everyone turned around and just stood there.
You evil bastard.
Skarpia, that's fucking brilliant.
Brilliant. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Get your notebooks out.
So I can remember that one for future reference.
You know what? I got back from work one night, and I walked in the house. It was just the two in the house, and I walked in, and I took my coat off, and I hung my stuff up and that, and I just went down. And I sat down in the living room, and she was in the kitchen, and I thought, she's not said hello. She mustn't have heard us come in. So I laid down on the settee, right, and I put a cushion on my feet, a cushion in the middle, and a cushion on my face. It just lay like on the settee in the corner. As much as a 22-stone man can hide with 3 small cushions on the settee, and I just lay there. And she walked back into the living room and sat down on another chair and just started like playing on her phone. And I'm lying there going, "How the fuck has she not seen us?" I'm like, she's not. What do I do? I waited about 2-3 minutes, thinking this is unbelievable. Then just went, rah! Shit, that's a
I'm not surprised.
She's had a couple. Yeah, it's mint. I told some of the lads at work, and they started sending us photographs of them hidden in the settee under cushions to terrify the lads. Oh my god!
Good Mr. Trendsetter.
It just says I can't find things. I'm bad at looking.
Oh look, let me show you this. I just got this. This is my new desk ornament. Someone made this for me. It's like a resin skull filled with like shotgun shells.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
and
cool.
I'm just like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. That's so bad, man. That's a really quality desk ornament. Oh,
you make a mech body for it.
Yeah. Having a little skinny body running around.
I'm glad you referenced Bad Moons there, because I was wondering where you were going with it. It was like, oh, I thought this was speaking to his inner serial killer or something like that, you know?
Maybe that was the message they were saying. Like, we're concerned about you, Steve.
I realise I am now too tipsy to be playing with a blade. Time to put it down and finish off the cider.
Good move.
In fairness, I have made a shed load of them bleeding kill saws and gun arms for the Mega Knobs. There's loads of them. It's great.
Nice. I'm trying to figure out now what the next project I'm going to finish is, because I've got so many almost finished projects.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, I have to keep things myself. Before I couldn't do nothing before I sorted this out. But I know, because there's no pressure to get one particular thing done. I can just do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
So
dangerous, so it's dangerous.
Operation Fromage is in full swing.
Well-trodden path.
I mean, unfortunately, at the moment, I'm distracted by Dystopian Wars ships. That's what I'm building.
Oh, very nice. So, any of you lads gone to UK Games Expo at the end of the month?
No.
No. I'd like to, but I can't.
Yeah, it's something I've never really thought about before until recently. I think we obviously it coming up and there's people been talking about it and that. And yeah, I think I might try and get there next year. Or maybe there's a few of them, because there's a few different ones on, isn't there?
Yeah. But I mean, UK Games Expo, and then usually Salute on in April, but that's a one-dayer. So that might be a bit easier.
Yeah, I think Salute was the other one I've been hearing stuff about.
I went to Expo last year. I played in the tournament, the Star Wars Legion tournament at Expo last year.
Why would you play in a tournament at a games convention? You're mad.
I won't again. Honestly, it was terrible. I didn't see half of the Expo, honestly. It was shocking. And the tournament was just tragic. I haven't played Legion since.
That bad?
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't played a game of Legion since I came back from that. Yeah.
I don't even think I would enjoy playing a game at something like that, let alone in a tournament. Because I would like say I just want to be walking around looking at everything. I just want to be just drinking it all in and just
I mean, honest, like the one time I went to Salute was like fucking nearly 10 years ago now, but there were participation games and they were fun. Like they were good crack. There was one there that was like a Mad Max game. That was good. But I've no idea if it's still like that. I'd like to go to Salute maybe next year. That'd be fun to try out. But I will be at Expo this year teaching people how to play Battletech or Leviathans. So, swing by and say hello.
What's Leviathan?
Leviathans is an airship sort of combat game. It's another game by Catalyst Games Lab, who are the guys who have the license for Battletech. So it's a bit like Battlefleet Codic. It's another one of them ships of the line type of games. It's good crack. It's good game.
When you say like airships, what do you mean, like Zeppelins type?
Well, not Zeppelins. So it's like an alternate universe where it's like Dreadnought era, pre-World War I, where some scientist has discovered how to make anti-gravity. And they decide, what we'll do with this anti-gravity stuff. You know what I mean? It's a liquid that you electrify. Look at that fucking ramp on that. Dirty.
I had a big ramp.
Yeah, it's looking really good, man.
Getting there now. Might actually record some YouTube videos now.
Sweet.
Oh, what
you
the
should
fuck's
do
YouTube?
Channel.
What's that? What's YouTube?
Getting there.
What's a YouTube channel?
These are what I forgot to bring to the meet. Sorry, guys.
I've got my one.
Next time.
Fridge magnets. Jesus.
Yeah.
They can join Steve-O's wedding pics. It's like, up on the fridge.
Nice.
But yeah, Leviathans is it's basically a ship combat game where they've pretty much turned like destroyers, cruisers, and battleships into floating ships, and you fight, and it's good crack. It's good fun.
Nice. That sounds cool.
I'll make a video. I'll do a tutorial video of it in the next week or two and put it up on the channel. Speaking of channels, our Ork Warboss channel seems to be doing pretty well. How can you? Great crack. Loads of new subscribers, loads of viewers. Looking good. Looking forward to the battle reports that I didn't get to play in, so that'll be fun as well. I think we all have that sort of mentality. It's like, I enjoyed my games, but I want to see what happened to the ones that were happening at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's even content for us to be watching,
Definitely.
Which is cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah, watch mine.
Who did you play in the first round, Clint?
Dim.
You played Dim. Oh, very good.
For all his pissing and moaning about 40k, it was an awesome game. Absolutely loved it.
His criticism is of the rules, not his enjoyment of the game. Once you get him gaming, he's grand. You know what I mean?
We had an awesome game. Bit like Blood Bowl last meet.
Oh, man.
It was one of the
Our game of Blood Bowl was great
Blood
crack,
Bowl
but
I've
poor
ever played.
fucking Dim. Jesus Christ, we played a game of Blood Bowl in his gaff after the meet, and I beat the ever-living shit out of him. Holy
I made the mistake of pointing out that my Shambling Undead team had never lost
he
a
said
game.
this before. Oh, this team's never been beaten. Right, so.
Right.
They fucking
They
were
beaten it
in
for
more ways than one.
I think there were 3 players left on the pitch at the end of the game for you, weren't there?
Oh, fucking hell.
And I was being a cheeky here and everything. I was like throwing fells in, and I was like, "Fuck it, go on, get the boot in."
I mean, I'd run them in 2 leagues basically, and in both leagues they did pretty fucking well. And the worst I ever did was draw. But
I was just rolling. I was rolling shit hot, man. I was
playing
like,
out my
break armor,
skin,
11,
yeah.
injury. That's him fucked.
He rolled stupidly well for injury rolls. It was
Great. I'll have to buy them
unkind.
dice off you, Dim. They were great. They were brilliant.
No.
I'm sure you've taken a hammer to them since.
I'm on a prime,
Fucking no.
Hammer, fucking industrial grinder, mate.
We should have made a bat rep for that. That was brilliant. It was good crack.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice that I was rewarded for finally, after 7 or 8, probably closer to 10 years, I finally finished painting my first Blood Bowl team, and I am rewarded in the way that all Blood Bowl players are rewarded, with an absolute fucking stuffing where half of my fucking team dies.
And that was with the save you had as well with them, wasn't it? Because they were undead. They had the what was it?
Regeneration, which
Yeah.
everything
other than the ghouls have. Which
and once you told me that, I was like, "Oh, these guilds are squishy, are they?"
Yeah.
Well, say hello to my boot.
Well, you figured out in the course of half of a game what an awful lot of my regular players never figured out, which is that go for the ghouls.
Yeah, because they're your scorers.
Yeah. Once they're gone, the Shambling Undead team's kind of useless, to be honest. The skeletons are okay linemen. They're not good as ball carrying players, and the mummies don't have the pace. So the only thing that's really half good with the ball is the wights, and there's only 2 of them. So yeah, you've effectively got, with the Shambling Undead team, you've only really got 6 players that are very good at ball carrying.
Yeah,
I'd like to
the
see
zombie.
the vampire one is like the vampire team with the trolls. I'd like to see what that's like. That looks interesting.
Yeah, they're interesting. The problem with all of the teams where you've got an extreme of one really good player, so like if you've got like the ogre team or the vampire team, all of those teams, they have like basically a major 1 in 6 drawback. So it means that on a turn, at least one of your 6, and usually you get 6 of them, players that is really strong, will do something that's really bad. If it's ogres, it'll be bonehead, which means they basically don't do anything and they don't interact with the game at all, which is pretty bad, but they don't do anything horrible to your own team. Or you've got the vampire way, which is the vampires eat their own players,
Cool.
which is interesting. I've never tried to use them. I've always fancied it because they're difficult. I tend to gravitate towards teams that are difficult to use.
I've played 2 games with the vampires, and they were really strong. And then as soon as they failed a few bloodlusts, they were like, "Oh my god, stop eating your own fucking people."
Yeah. Do they still have?
You were playing with the ogres, Clint. The half a game we got to play, and you were playing with the ogres, wasn't it? And then the bonehead rolls. You kept rolling ones.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, it's a fucking nightmare, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rolling, Jesus. Yeah, I was trying to throw a few Noblars, wasn't I?
Oh, you pulled it off once, I think, at least once. And I was like, "Oh, cheeky bastard! I see what's on here." So wow.
Yeah, you have to though, because like the Nobblers are only movement 5, and
yeah,
although they do have sidestep, so you do get a little bit of an advantage with movement, provided you're not playing a team with grab.
For those of you, I always have to play orcs. I can't play any other team in Blood Bowl. It has to be orcs. You know yourself. They
are a very conveniently solid team. They are quite a strong team, to be honest. They're one of the top tier teams because they've not got a bad player. Even before they added the stupid animosity rule in. But But the animosity rule just kind of nerfs them in a terrible way, because it just encourages the meta build that everybody that I've played against, who's a bit sweaty in my local group, would play anyway. Which is
the meta build?
To stick to the orcs and not take the trolls or the goblins, which means you're losing the fun stuff. So you just got the boring, really good at beating shit up orcs. You don't have the goblins; they're not fun, apparently.
I still love using the trolls and the goblins in my orcs.
Oh no, I do. Yeah.
I like when you go to throw. It's
like
always hilarious. You go
teams
to throw
now,
a
though?
goblin player who has the ball with the troll, and the troll's like, ah.
I would.
They got some like mixed teams now, aren't they? Though, where you can do that, where you can have orcs and goblins on the team. And
You can have a
like
pure goblin team, and the goblin team is one of the funniest teams.
Oh,
Easily the
team.
funniest team in the Blood Bowl. It really is.
That's what you played when we played, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. Goblins versus Snotlings. There was no way that game wasn't going to be amazing.
That's the team I got. And I started painting them, but I stopped because I'm like, no, I just need to respray them and start again.
You make sure you've got the secret weapons, though. You want the secret
Yeah,
weapons.
well, you
That's where the
sent
fun
me
is.
them, Dim.
Oh, did I? I didn't know I had them. Yeah. The reason I gave them away, by the way, is if I made my own goblin team, which one day I will, I convert all my Blood Bowl teams. I don't like using the boring kit. And if I am using the kit, I'm using the kit as part of a kit bash with other kits. I don't like having the basic bitch ones. I'll buy like other ones that like a third party might make that will look different, but I just like my teams to look different. So there was no I bought like a load of teams. I think it was mostly because I was just going to have some house teams, but as a result of sort of like the club moving venue, I've got all the teams I donated back, and now they're conveniently painted. So I have house teams now. So I don't know why I worried. So, but I've got my human teams over there. You can't see them, but they're converted from the Corvus Cabal. There's a Warcry stuff, and I'm currently in the process of having tears because one of them has had their hand fall off, and the hand is one of the Blood Bowl human player hands that I cut off to add on to it, so that I can show you which ones are my runners. Which ones are my catchers, which ones are my throwers. They all have a ball, and I think I used all of the ones that I had. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that particular one, which is really annoying because they're ready to get painted, and that Blood Bowl ball that fell off it's just disappeared into the ether. I've got no fucking idea where it is. It'll turn up.
Sure
It'll turn up after I've replaced it.
We've a league in us, lads. I think we've a Blood Bowl league in us somewhere. You know what I mean? There's enough of us with a bit of an interest. It'll have to be put on the future projects list.
I'd make a team for that.
Definitely.
It might be who's fucking sailing this ship? Because it's 25 to 12. You share the bastards. Come on now.
I was just going to say it might be worth considering the prospect of doing.
He's about to start another topic, Scar.
Look
at him go. Look at him go. You already know this is not going to be a short.
You can run it. You can run it.
It's going to be at least 3 or 4.
Hang on, let us finish the fucking point. You can run any team, but it's an orc team. So if you decide to go Shambling Undead, you've got to convert them to look like Shambling Undead, but they've got to look orky as well.
Orcs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've already got mine done. My ogre team done.
Yeah, I know. I also have an ogre team done. No, I have ideas. I have ideas if we did that.
An orc team in one of these fucking drawers around here somewhere. But I digress.
I'm going to do orcs as gnomes.
Just a beer bollocks.
On that happy note.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it, Dred.
We have been the Warbosses.
We have.
Yeah. Don't forget to drill your barrels.
Catch you on the next one.
We're so shit. We are so shit.
Good night.
This is 6 plus Stevo signing out.